Oh, we weren't starting just now? That would have been
We
a
are
good way to
starting now.
start.
Yeah, we had some noise in the gallery that we had to stop.
Meatloaf! Mom!
I never know what she's doing in there. Season 3, episode 4. Our random, just arbitrary season and episode naming. We're back. We promised a month ago that we're going to try to do this again every week, and then it's been a month.
We said that?
Yeah, we kind of did.
I don't think I promised that.
We have kind of a good excuse.
Roll the tape.
right. Could you please, court reporter,
And,
please read
and then
back
it shows
the
it
testimony?
you saying once a week, and it focuses on my face and me going,
No, it's you going, how about every day?
we'll see.
All right. Well, we do kind of have a good excuse, and somewhat, because we were in Texas for a part of that. You were there
right.
for a week.
Yeah.
And we were there
Pretty
for
much we've been partying so hard we didn't have time.
No, and we even, when we were into, okay, just for the listener, you and your family were there for an entire week.
Whole week.
And then Marta and Beck and I joined you guys on Friday, and we flew back on Monday. So we were there for 3.5, 4 days. And that was the first time that you'd been there or been back with your family, you and Sarah.
Yeah, in quite a while.
16 years is what I thought. That's
that
what I
doesn't
thought
sound
I'd
right.
read or heard.
Wow.
Anyway, so what was that like being back in Austin? I know you and I have been to Austin like dozens
Yeah.
of times, or a couple dozen times in the last 10 years, but that was the first time you and Sarah had brought
Yeah.
any of your children.
It tapped into some stuff. I was with you. Remember when we went to Mississippi
Yes.
and we went to the house that you lived in as a child?
Yes.
How powerful was that?
Very powerful, actually.
So, yeah, we went to the house that we used to live in,
Right.
and my girls are with me. And the last time they were there, Samantha was under 2, 1. Up to 2 is when we moved.
And Josie wasn't.
We moved when she was 6 weeks. I mean,
Oh, my.
she was
Okay.
very young.
Okay.
Got to see some of the neighbors that
Right.
we used to talk to and everything. It was just, it tapped into that.
Right. Got the old crew together, too, which is always great.
It was just a fantastic trip.
Okay.
Everything was awesome.
Okay.
Except, now, it was cool. Samantha and Josie got tattoos. You got to let go, Joel.
With Quinn.
What am I going to do?
Well, that was not Quinn's
What
first
am I gonna do?
rodeo with the tattoo, so
I mean,
that didn't really bother us.
I told him, people that get tattoos are dirty. All right? You don't get tattoos. All right? If you want to look respectable in this
No.
world.
Oh, boy, look at that, showing off.
Yeah. So
Our-
it's like,
our-
what are you going to do?
Our sound technician, Beck, with showing
They
off
look
his...
pretty good, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so, too. So that was a big moment.
And Quinn, just for our listeners, they used to have these friendship bracelets. Quinn
Right,
and the girls,
right.
and that was kind of their tattoo
Right.
thing that they got.
Right.
So
good trip. Good to see the girls together again. Always good to see, your friends who are now my friends too, which is great. Always good to have that. And to see my daughter who's now a Texan.
yeah.
She even says y'all now.
Oh man,
She's been there
She is so awesome.
A month and a half, and she says y'all.
I mean, if people know what Austin is, it's one of these cities that it has a feel to it.
Right.
It has a very noticeable feel.
It has
the
a
more
motto.
You get to, it has a motto.
Keep Austin weird.
Yep, keep Austin weird, man. And
It
it's
is weird.
great. I love that place.
Yeah, I do. I love Austin.
And Quinn is like a shapeshifter, or that's probably the wrong word. Like the people in that show, the lady's blue, and she can just suddenly turn into whatever that show is.
Yeah.
Quinn did that in Austin.
Right.
Yeah.
She
so
loves it there.
She
And
seems
when
really happy.
We talked to her. She's, she spends time telling us how superior Austin is to Iowa.
I can confirm that.
And whether it's true or not, it doesn't make any difference because she believes it is, and that's the whole point. So she seems happy there. She's working.
Hey, when I moved there, just to Texas in general, if someone would have told me when I was 25 years old,
right,
someday you're going to move back to Iowa, I would have laughed in their face.
And here you are.
Here I am, man. Can't
Thinking about
imagine
moving
not
back?
being here. No.
Think about moving it back to
No, I
Austin?
love it here.
Yeah.
And I love that I can go there.
Right. Sounds like your girls might have enjoyed their time down there.
Yes, they did. There was, I mean, I'm just going to say it out loud. Little bit of romance, I thought, going on between
Ooh.
Samantha and Robin.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I saw that shit.
You just put that
I
out
saw
there.
that shit going
You just
down.
slammed that right there on the table.
Hey, that's my whole point. I'm just going to, I'll get to that.
You
The
keep it
chick-
real.
Yeah, keeping it real,
Right.
and you just call it out. But, I think it's kind of cool.
Well, since you brought it up, I am going to say that it was noticed.
For the listeners, Robin is this little boy that when I was jumping every weekend, that's how this
Skydiving.
core of friends of mine, that's how we all met. And it was a bunch of crazy videographers, jump masters, us, but young. And this 8-year-old little boy at the drop zone whose mom worked there.
Probably not a great environment for a boy.
Or was it? Or was it? Because Robin is one of the best people in the world.
He's a great guy. I really
love
like
him.
Robin a lot.
We raised him like the 300, the Spartans,
Right,
he was raised by skydivers.
Right.
He
He
is-
saw some things.
Yeah. So, but there's huge. We don't need to talk about that anymore. But that was
yeah,
cool.
right.
It was just that vibe
Yeah.
of having everyone together and
Right.
that connecting with the memories.
Right.
It just, man, it made me feel full of love.
Yeah. Well, and it
I'm
doesn't
getting
matter.
dizzy.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, our view here in our house anyway is like, it doesn't matter if your girls where they live. It's just good to have that exposure, and that's one of the things that Marta and I really valued when the kids were little is we took them to a lot of different places. We did a lot of traveling, probably more than we could have really afforded at
Yeah.
the time. And we did a lot. I mean, trips to Mississippi and Arizona and Seattle and Florida and Rhode Island and all Texas and all these places, Boston.
Those are
Mexico.
memories.
Yeah,
know?
and it's important for me anyway, so that the kids when they get older they were like, Iowa's a great place to live, but they don't have to be here. They can be wherever they want,
Yeah.
and we'll miss them if they move. But
Yeah.
the miracle of air travel.
Evie did the iFly.
Saw that.
That's some Willy Wonka shit right there,
It
dude.
really, yeah.
It's this huge tube, and there's only a couple in the country.
Okay.
And somehow it's designed so that there's a guy that sits in a box and he can control the airflow. It's indoor skydiving.
Right.
And I mean, these guys, what they can do when they're in there by themselves showing off is just amazing. It's the kind of stuff.
And it's pretty similar to skydiving. I mean,
Yeah.
do you feel similar?
It's the exact same.
Okay.
It's the exact same.
Without
feeling.
without the fear of death.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That part.
Right. But besides that,
But yeah, these guys get just awesome at the head down transitions and stuff because they
Right.
can just, I mean, we're trying to learn it 40, 50 seconds at a time. But anyway, my whole point with that was it was a great experience for Evie.
right. And there was some discussion about actually skydiving while you're there, which didn't happen.
Yeah. I
But-
mean, if we're getting tattoos, let's just push our chips all in, you
Yeah,
know?
let's put it in there. Well,
But-
the skydiving thing, yeah, we really we discussed it before we got there, and Quinn wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And she's kind of back and forth, and then she decided I'm going to do it, and we were ready for her to do it. Beck, our sound technician, kind of sort of thought he might want to do it, but Beck might be kind of priced out of the whole thing as far as size because
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but he's big enough to eat hay and shit in the street.
Those
so
are the guys I always was assigned to.
The big fellas?
The big fellas, the
Yeah.
football players, because
Right.
I was
Right.
one of the smaller jump masters.
because you gotta have to you gotta pay attention to the weight, the overall weight, because Beck would be strapped to you or another jump
Right.
master doing a tandem jump,
Yeah.
and the combined weight is important.
Right, and often that can be flipped. So if the jump master is on the heavy side, they're probably going to give him the big fat football player's girlfriend, which is not fair, but
Right.
I always had the football player.
You always had the football players,
And, they just...
and those football players, they always have hot girlfriends.
Well, and good for him, right? But you know what? If you're going to talk a big game, sometimes I like to scare them. When the parachute opens up, the risers are right here. Okay, he's hanging from me, connected here, and at our hips. Right.
And he's on your back.
No, he's in front of me.
You're. That's right. You're on his
It's a
back.
tandem.
My bad. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're
And-
mounting him. He's the bottom, and you're
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
right.
on top
yeah.
during free fall. Right.
Right. I'm just talking sky jumping.
Yes.
I mean, what are you
talking.
thinking?
Why you
All
gotta
right,
say
whatever.
sky jumping? That's the worst thing.
Did I
of what
say
you
sky
just
jumping?
Did. Yes, you do that. Stuff
My
on
bad.
purpose.
My bad. Is that akin to referring to jiu-jitsu as karate? It's the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway. So
Anyway.
yeah. So
But I wasn't like, yeah, we were talking about Samantha, Josie, and Quinn, and you know, I've taken my wife a
Right.
couple of times. I took my grandfather on his 80th birthday. You know,
That's
I've
impressive.
got over 1,600 jumps. Sounds like a lot. It's really not compared to. I think Kyle's got twice that. Lance has probably got twice that.
wow.
Yeah, our friend Tim's probably got 3 or 4 times that. I
Okay.
mean, it's very relative.
Okay.
You know, the guy that gets a lot of respect out of a drop zone is in the teens of thousands. There's guys that have 20,000.
That's a lot.
So anyway, but there's a difference between having a lot of jumps and being current.
Right.
So I want to get current
Sure.
so that when we all go, I can be part of it in some way.
Right. Right.
So I wasn't, and the weather just didn't cooperate.
Right.
And you know, maybe we do tattoo. Let's slow down. A
yeah.
little
It
bit.
gets,
Like,
yeah. We
go
got to pump the brakes.
boom out the chute with
Yeah,
the
we
tattoo
have
and a
all this great
skydive.
time, and
What's
then it's like,
next?
yeah. What do we do then?
Sheesh.
Right.
All right. So
Yeah. So
let's talk about something else.
No. Yeah. You know.
Move on the list.
Well, while we're talking about Texas, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm drinking out of my Buc-ee's thermal mug now. Buc-ee's is a truck stop chain in Texas, and I don't. And you're looking at it like you're puzzled.
I've never seen Buc-ee's
Okay,
down
well,
there, but I don't pay
The truck
attention.
stops, the Buc-ee's truck stops in Texas are huge.
Big.
They have everything. Beck said it was the highlight of his trip
What?
in June. It's a magical place. It's a magical place, he said. So anyway, yeah. So if I can't, they must be newish because you don't know what they are. So you know,
I've probably walked through one and never
well, there's
paid
one on the
attention
way.
to-
The next time we drive to Austin, we'll stop at a Buc-ee's. They have everything. So
So it's like a
anyway.
Walmart.
But way better, way better.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah. So Texas was great, but we're back now, and probably no more traveling this summer for you guys. Or
No, I'm good. Yeah.
you already done your Ozarks trip.
That was kind of our Texas thing, you know.
Oh, so you okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we are bound next month for San Diego just for a weekend because, well, we've never been. And second, we found flights for like $120
Yeah.
round trip. So we're like, why not spend a weekend?
Yeah, if you are listening, you should check out what's that?
Well, it's Allegiant.
Yeah.
Allegiant. So, yeah. See, a lot of the
$100 round trip direct to Austin.
a lot of the silver spoons out there, they kind of, you know, they look down on Allegiant.
Oh,
It's a, you know, crappy airline, you know, because, you know, but
dude, I thought it was
regular
perfect.
people like you and I, we don't,
You walk off the airplane, out of it.
and
You're in the air, and you walk into this building, grab your. It was like going through.
I know.
Yeah.
And it's a direct
I
flight.
can see why
Yeah,
some
you can't
people
beat
may
it.
not
So
like it,
anyway,
but
yeah, so that's what we're going to do.
It's
So-
quick, pop,
right,
pop.
Right. Hey, okay, so let me, real quick while I'm thinking about it, let me go to the listener email. We have a listener email. Is that okay?
Yeah, unless
let me
it's
get to
gonna be something. Are you
Okay, so
sabotaging me?
listener email. Dear Dan and Joel, love you, love the show, been listening for years. Years. Okay. Glad to see you two back in action. Question, what's the deal with Dan's fishing stories? Last episode, Joel was talking about his daughter moving to Texas. You could tell it was
Kyle.
emotional. Suddenly, Dan interrupts with a fishing story? What gives?
I'm ashamed of that. I did watch that. I know that's from Kyle, which is some bullshit because you're in on it together. You know what? I don't even remember doing it. And then Kyle sent me a So he watches apparently.
It's hilarious. I didn't notice it
And
until
I'm
Kyle
like,
pointed it out.
Oh my God, he's talking about his daughter in this moment
It's
of
hilarious
Quinn
now.
leaving, and I see my picture and I just start holding like I had no idea.
Well, and
I'm
as you
so-
said, you don't really listen to what I'm saying anyway. That made it better.
yeah.
Dan, we're just
I
playing with you.
apologize. I'm
Don't
embarrassed.
apologize. That was hilarious.
Well, it's not out of
Kyle
trying
did
to be
shame you pretty good with that. It was really funny. It was really
I can only
funny.
imagine how many times I've done something like that to people. Gosh,
No,
I'm sorry.
shit, we've all, don't be. I just thought that was funny to bring that up. when we brought that
I'm just
up in
holding up.
Texas, you felt genuinely bad, and Kyle and I felt genuinely. It was funny. It was funny. But yeah, so we're back in Iowa. I gotta say, this much nervous about Texas, being in Texas in social situations, because I know, the
Why?
COVID thing's not
You're
over.
vaccinated, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. But, I have no immune system, Dan. I don't know if you know that. I'm actually taking a medicine that kills my immune system. So, and the research.
So maybe it didn't take.
Well, the research is saying that vaccinated people in my situation are likely more at risk. But, I mean, it's obviously better to be vaccinated in my situation than not.
Right.
But it's not like I can go out and
Well,
start French kissing strangers or
There's
anything.
some people out there that would say if you have this weak immune system, you're going to take this vaccination and it's going to do something to your body that's going to put you at risk. Like that moment, there was a percentage of risk there.
Right.
And is that worth getting vaccinated? And then,
Oh, so
maybe
the
I'll
vaccine
research
itself. Yeah,
this
right.
and boom, down the little magic rat hole you
Right.
go.
Well, I've done my share of research, as you know, because I tend to research everything.
Well,
and
let's talk about that research, Joel.
Well, that's interesting, because I not only researched my own risk and things like that, and it's still kind of up in the air, just like COVID's up in the air, and just like the vaccine for regular people. I mean, they do know that vaccinated people are, much safer. Creates a safer society. I read recently that 90% of the people that are hospitalized right now with COVID are unvaccinated people. So vaccinated people can still get COVID, but they do not have the negative outcome generally than unvaccinated. So all the numbers are there, and you look at the numbers, and you're like, yeah, I should be vaccinated. That's, be dumb not to, but that's not the way it is.
Yeah.
It's not the way it is, unfortunately.
So there are people out there where it just doesn't make sense to get vaccinated.
Right.
It is possible.
And it's, yeah.
And there's some of that percentage are those people. Sarah and
Right.
I talked about this last night.
Okay.
Tried to.
Right.
And her point was, a 90-year-old man who's got this and that, in his situation, getting the vaccination may not be,
Sure. May not make sense. Right.
but there's way more people, I think, who have chosen not to get vaccinated
Sure.
because of the wrong reason. Like
Well, because of
some
wrong
bullshit.
Because they have bad information.
Yes. Okay.
They have bad
there you go.
information,
I
or
really think they're.
or even if they have good information, the good information conflicts with their belief system politically or what have you.
We see what we want to see.
We see what we
by
want-
nature anyway.
Right. We have our own narratives about any number of topics, and anytime you get information that conflicts with those narratives, you have a choice. You can challenge yourself and go, well, maybe something I believe isn't true.
Yeah.
Or you can deflect that information, or here's what's happening in our country. Or you can settle yourself down and get a slow drip of brain poison in front of any one of a number of media outlets that happens to give you the message that you want to hear. And that's what's happening. So, as I read this morning, I know, Dr. Fauci, who's like a the big bad wolf in some circles. But Dr. Fauci said if the vaccine for polio had come out during this age of misinformation, we'd still have polio
Wow.
because they still wouldn't believe it. They still wouldn't believe the vaccine worked.
That's crazy.
I know. Well, maybe it's an exaggeration, maybe not. But so that's kind of where we are. I mean, I try to balance mentally between the belief that people should have a freedom to
Yeah.
do what they want to their own world, their own body or whatever. But this is one of those situations where their freedom is kind of inhibiting other people.
Yeah.
And so then I wonder.
Do you ever do this? This is what I do sometimes is question myself. Like, okay, am I seeing what I want to see? Do I want to see that every person who's not vaccinated, voted for this person, was part of that storming the Capitol,
Right.
and chose not to get it, or see it politically? But I want the facts.
Right.
Like, to me, if we get to a point where people are losing their lives because of a direct correlation of their information coming from their politics,
Right.
something's wrong.
Something is wrong. Right. Right. And that's what's happening. I mean, maybe now, for the first time in a long time, politics can be life and death.
Well-
Because there's hard data out there that shows state by state, even county by county, who you voted for and the vaccine level, the level of people that have taken the vaccine. Strong correlation, strong. So counties that were in the last election voted for Joe Biden. Those they're
Yeah.
highly vaccinated counties, and conversely,
That's what I think. The data
Right.
supports it,
Right.
but I want to make sure I'm not missing something here.
Well,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Right, right. I don't think
but
you
I
are.
don't think I am.
No,
And it's I don't-
you're not. If you
So
listen,
Ronald Reagan changed a law, and that's where we evolved into Fox CNN. The law that it was I don't know what it's called, but when we were kids and our parents watched the news, they watched the news whoever they
Right.
liked, right?
Right, right.
And if there was an editorial, there was typically two sides to it.
right, right. Oh,
there's something
they
with that
require
that-
a balanced,
yeah,
a
someone
balanced
can-
viewpoint. Yeah, I
But
think we've
anyway,
talked-
maybe it's time to look at that again.
Right, right.
We need some news source that is not funded, at least
right.
from some political. I don't know. Maybe.
Well,
I'm
I mean,
probably
that
describing like
we've
PBS.
talked about that before. I think. I mean, that the 24-hour news cycle changed everything.
Yeah.
Because when we were kids, you got your news from the half-hour national news, the half-hour local news, and a newspaper.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? What
Yeah.
if this is gonna? I'm not meaning to be disrespectful to anybody
Okay.
who's lost someone to COVID.
Yeah.
All right. But what if all of a sudden the way you died from COVID was like some kind of zombie, like you just suddenly imploded,
Okay.
or like it was in front of people, like
Right.
more people could see it.
Right.
I mean, because the numbers are huge. How many people would be like, okay, give me the shot, give me the shot?
Well, that's interesting because I was talking to Marta this morning. I read an article that featured several people in a little town in Arkansas. Now, Arkansas is one of the least vaccinated states in the country, around 40%.
Yeah.
And they featured these people who refused to get vaccinated. They had a terrible outcome from getting COVID in intensive care. And then they interviewed them afterwards, and they all of them said, "No, I'm not going to get the vaccine. It's too risky." Well, one lady, which I wish you could see the picture, I could show it to you, 60-some years old, her picture, she just looks so angry. She's got, an oxygen thing on. She said, she intensive care for a while. She said it was the worst thing that ever happened to her, getting COVID. Worst thing that ever happened. I wanted to die, she said. And then the interviewer said, well, would you consider getting the vaccine now? No, it's too risky. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I'll never understand it. And here's my position that I've been taking is that I'm almost done trying to understand it.
Yeah.
Because it's just too much. I mean, it's too
Yep.
much of a, you know me long enough to know that, I've struggled with some mental health issues over the years, and reading the news
It doesn't help.
It does not help. Social media does not help. And so
I think I found something that can help.
what's that?
Moments
Drugs?
in your life where you have right on your side,
Yeah.
and just to let a little bit of that out. I'll give you an example.
Okay. I want to hear it.
I have all these experiences at Menards, as you know. I'm there quite often. So
We should do a podcast for Menards featuring you. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
I mean, I feel like I'm Norm walking into
I thought of you at
Cheers.
Menards the other day when I had that lawnmower blade.
Did your wife tell you she saw me at Menards the other day?
I think she did.
All right, so I gave a guy what I call the George Klein look. Okay, at
Big
Menards.
George.
Yep, George is my dad, and he has this look that can make
I bet that'd be
you
awesome, by the way.
feel like you're
Having a dad.
just a. Here it is. You ready? And it's usually like you just did something, like you broke something, you
Right.
spilled something,
Right.
you effed something up.
Sure.
Here's a look.
I can imagine.
Just that eye contact, this
I know
look
Big
of kind of
George. I can see it.
disgust, and
Yeah.
a head shake.
Yep.
Right? It's powerful.
It is.
You know what? I'm glad we had that look growing up. Thank you, Dad. It sharpened me up.
Right.
So I gave the guy this look at Menards, and I'll
Okay.
explain the situation. But my point is, I felt comfortable doing this because I had right on my side,
Sure.
right? So I'm going down the food aisle. You know that part
Yeah.
of Menards? It's kind of in the back.
Well aware.
All right, so I'm on the south end of that where the freezers are, all the water and stuff.
Yep.
I'm going that way. This guy, young guy, he's coming around the corner, and he's by himself, but he's like doing a dance with this bag of chips, and he's trying to spin them like a basketball. It's not going well, and he tries to grab at it, and
Breaking them up?
Then he pops it under his hand, and he tries to grab it like this, and just like put the final blow on it. Like, these chips are clearly crunching on the inside of this
Yeah, right.
bag the whole time.
Which is no big deal because he's going to buy them, right?
Right, of course he is.
Right.
He's going to
He
make
likes-
some fucking walking tacos or some shit. Sorry. I mean,
He's trying to crunch them up so he can
so
just pour them in his mouth.
he picks it up, looks up, and just kind of sees a shadow there, and he heads back around the corner. I didn't speed up. I'm just walking, but as I walk by, I see him put the chips back in the place and take another bag.
You punched him, didn't you?
No,
Please
but
say you did.
he looked over at me.
He deserved
And he's
that.
I don't know. I can't guess age anymore. I'm too old. 25 maybe.
Old enough to know better.
But he stands up and looks at me, and we make eye contact, and yeah, I'm trying to decide which part I'm going to leave out. Okay. But all he did was look at me, right?
Okay.
No words were said, but
right.
it was, we're having a look, and I gave him
The George.
the George, like you just, and he goes, and went around the other side. That was it.
Okay.
But what if he had said, "What the hell are you looking at?" Anything like that, right?
Right.
It could turn into a situation.
And you spent
And-
the rest of the afternoon going over that in your
Right.
head.
But when you have right on your side,
Right.
you can push your chips in. You've got the cards. And
Yeah.
you can just go, "I'm sorry. Are you calling me an asshole for smashing up chips and putting them back and then I'm sorry, chip smasher.
Yeah, right.
I think you're a dick."
Let me ask you this. I
But-
totally agree.
Honestly, most people are going to know that you acknowledged it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, parking in the handicap,
Right,
and you don't
right,
have a
right.
sticker, and at least you balance the universe a little bit
Right.
with right on your side.
Do you think it made a
know.
difference though? Because that's
No.
where I am now. Yeah, because I don't. I used to think it would make a difference, and now I'm just like, what?
I probably gave him a story to tell.
Some guy. I
thought he was gonna
dropped
stare
a
me
bag of
down.
chips. I dropped him, and he looked at me like I had murdered.
Yeah.
I
better not catch that-
chicken or
I better not catch that bitch out on the
yeah.
block.
If I see him again, it's on. You know,
Sorry.
I'm not
Sorry.
trying. I'm not trying. No.
But
I'm not trying to Tommy top you, but I have these. Well, and I'm chuckling at the idea of you spending the rest of the afternoon playing
Multiple
these
scenarios.
different scenarios about.
Oh, yeah.
Him talking shit. You say something, him going for you.
Well,
you choke him out.
No, more of verbal jujitsu.
Right, okay.
Because it's not going to go past that. But,
Right.
But who's going to win?
Right.
And then me following him around, telling people, "Hey, he's pissed at me because he smashed up a bag of chips,
And I called
These
him
are
out.
the ones he smashed."
I'm not trying to Tommy top you, but fairly recently I was walking into a Hy-Vee, the local Hy-Vee, and I noticed this couple standing in front of the door. Okay, now at our Hy-Vee, you got the door, the automatic door, and then what's right next to it? Right next to the door.
The carts.
Well, the cart's inside, but on the outside of the store is a garbage can
Garbage
with
can.
what's on top of the garbage can?
Ashtray.
So I see this couple, and they're holding hands, and they're both just smoking it up. They got the Marlboros going.
Aw,
they're
that's
just
cute.
they're finishing that cig because
Yeah, they're holding hands though.
they're holding. It was beautiful. It was
Are
a
they
beautiful-
sharing the cigarette?
No, they have their own, but it's a
Oh,
beautiful
that would've
moment,
been
and
even better.
I almost felt dirty that I was kind of sharing that moment with them because it was like a Hallmark card.
Yeah. You
You
don't
know,
feel
this
bad about that.
Two Harley Davidson looking, holding hands and smoking their cigs, and
Just went south a little bit.
it was
for me.
beautiful. And they were right by the door. And just as I was getting to the door, they finished up their cig because I'm walking and I can see them from 50 feet away.
Did they kiss? And they hadn't exhaled yet.
You know what they? Oh yeah, that's just okay. So what do they do, Dan? Both of them threw their cig butt on the ground and walked in the store. They were less than 6 feet from the ashtray, and
Did they
just
at least stomp on it?
nope. The lit cig went right to the. Now it was kind of that Menards moment where oh my God, I just wanted to. You know what I wanted to do, and I think I would.
Can I
have.
guess?
Yes.
Okay. You wanted to go over, grab a cigarette, blow on it, go over to the guy and just put it out right
That's
on his
a little
chin.
bit more extreme than I was thinking.
Ah.
You know what I really wanted to do? I wanted to go pick him up and then yell at him, go, "Hey, I picked him up for you. I put him in the ashtray
Mm-hmm.
for you," and just let him know because it was right there. They just had to put him in the
Yeah.
thing. The store provides them a giant ashtray, and they just flip him right out there with little kids walking by. And I just, but I didn't say anything. I didn't even have a chance to give him a George look, even though I did see him a couple of times in the store. They were both holding hands while one of them was pushing a cart the whole way through the store. It was beautiful. And I didn't want to ruin that beautiful moment by confronting them on their piggish smoking behavior. So I didn't. But it was kind of the same thing. But then what did I do for the next hour? Yeah, I just played it over and over. What could I have said? It would have been so cool if I'd have done this
But that's good though. That preps you up for
for the
real
next
thing.
time. And I'll probably jump the gun a little bit. It'll probably, some guy will probably drop his thing. What are you doing? Oh, I just dropped it here. I'm going to put it in. Oh, I ruined it, So, but yeah, I have it's just, I'm learning.
It's okay. Just focus. There's as much on the other side too.
I'm learning in my old age just to let things go.
Yep.
Just got to let them go. Just got to, that outrage, I just got to just let it go.
Yeah.
Move on. So, anyway,
I go to a building where we choke each other.
that would help, wouldn't it? That would really help.
That's where I feel the most safe in this world.
Really?
Yeah, when I'm at jiu-jitsu. Building
Maybe
full
I
of
need
guys.
that kind of outlet rather
Yeah,
than
you
abusing
do.
my children.
You do.
Or whatever it is that I do.
Hey, when we were down there,
Yeah.
Ray goes, our friend Giggles.
Yeah.
Great guy. Love you,
Everybody
Giggles.
needs a little bit of Ray in their life. I can tell you that.
He goes, Dan, how can I get one of those shirts? I was wearing this shirt. It was the night we were watching the fights. I go, well, I could send one to you, but how do you feel about people that wear a skydiving shirt that have never done a skydive? And he goes, oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. I go, Ray, come over here and sit in front of me a minute, and then I'm going to send you a shirt. He starts giggling. No, Dad.
I know
Ray,
what you're going to do.
It's not going to hurt. A good blood choke is not painful.
You won't
Ray.
even feel it,
You won't.
Ray.
And
You
you'll
won't
just
feel
go
it.
to sleep for just a
won't
second.
feel it.
And I will buy the shirt for you. No.
I thought you were going to say, you want a shirt? You just have to take it off me, Ray.
Come and get it. No. So don't let me forget. I've got to send Ray a shirt.
Okay.
But
Gotcha.
he never did let me
All
choke
right.
him. But anyway, what else is on the list?
No,
here?
that's it. You know,
How long have we been talking?
Yeah,
It
how long
feels
has it
like forever.
Like 35 minutes.
Yeah, it's a little short.
Yeah, and we didn't even touch the list, did we?
Well, I just had this one other topic that I think we should save because it's going to be, I don't know, well, maybe, should I throw it out
Do
there?
I know the topic? What is it?
No, you don't, and I'm wondering if you even have. Okay,
So,
and I'm not going to say this because it's not a negative towards you. It's actually a positive towards you because you have a wonderful ability to live life in the moment and not worry about things that you have no control over. Oh, hey, look, it's Gus. He doesn't want to be a part of the show. So you're a teacher. I'm a former educator.
Yeah.
And what's been in the news, what's been dominating the news for the last 6 months has been critical race theory. And I'm curious about, and this is not an opportunity to try to make shit out of you because I'm not. I actually admire you in this because you fish, you teach, you do your thing, and you don't. I immerse myself in things that I wish I hadn't, but I just wonder what you really know about it right now.
I know about it.
Okay.
And what I focus on in those situations, N176. That's my room number.
Yeah.
That's my room.
176. That's right.
And yeah,
Okay.
I handle my business in
Yeah,
there.
I know you do, buddy.
Because that's a slippery slope for me to go down. It's just all this bullshit.
Were you hearing much of this at the end of the school year? Because it's a huge topic all over the news. It's critical race theory. States are now making laws to prevent teachers from teaching critical race theory. And the interesting thing is, if you ask somebody what it is,
Yeah.
most people have no idea.
So what are you what do you not want me to do? You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Well,
real specific
for real,
is what I need
for
to
real,
know.
what do they not want you to do, or like
I
the unintended, or maybe the unspoken outcome?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I don't know how much I would really even talk about it because, like I said, my room is where I do what I do.
Right.
And it's pretty good stuff. It's real magical
it's great stuff. Yeah, it's great stuff.
I've never been told that you do this or that. I create my lesson plans that follow the Iowa Core.
And for the most part, your students and their parents have no complaints.
Yeah. I've had a couple. Wasn't over content, I can tell you that.
No, I'm sure. I'm sure. Well, I just thought, I don't know if it's something we should. I mean, we already talked about one serious topic, so I just, it's just, I find
I
it.
think it is. We'd be taught. It would sound a lot like the vaccine.
It would.
You could
It's
insert
like an attack.
critical race and take out vaccine, and it's going to be the same
Right.
conversation.
Well, I just, it's from a kind of an overarching standpoint. I just find it interesting because 6 months ago nobody was talking about it, and now it's on the news on all news
because
channels.
there's got to be something.
Where state legislatures are taking their valuable time creating laws to address something.
You have
that's
to have
really
a
not even-
boogeyman.
That's not even a problem.
Like, you can equate it to the Just Say No to Drugs campaign with Ronald Reagan. That was
Right.
really Nancy's thing. People
Right.
saw Nancy as this California uppity, she needed something. So she got a hold of that.
Right.
And my understanding is adolescent marijuana use had dropped substantially. I mean, they were having serious issues with heroin.
Right.
I mean, it was but marijuana use it worked, but they weren't advertising that because they
Right.
needed that
Yep.
demon,
Right.
There's always got to be something so you can rally people.
Right.
And it's just
And the
starting to
weed
get-
wasn't even that good back then anyway. I mean, I don't know what they were worried about. So,
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
so anyway, yeah, I don't know if we want to, we can hold off on that, but, yeah, so, I just, I had some thoughts about it, but it's more of it's just kind of the one thing that I will say is that, back in the old days before I left Southeast Polk, I supervised the English department and I supervised the social studies department, which I don't know why I did so, because somebody had to. I don't have any background in social studies, but not once can I remember in all the times I was in a classroom witnessing any teacher teach anything remotely related to critical race theory.
Yeah.
It's not an issue. I
Not
don't
a
know
thing.
what.
I've been on jobs, like on construction jobs in the summer, and hear some of these guys talking. And even before critical race theory thing, it's been this thing on the right that public schools are a breeding ground for liberals.
Indoctrination, yeah, liberal indoctrination is
and
huge.
it's like,
Which I know is your primary goal. Your secondary goal is to teach the principles and concepts of English according to the core, but your primary goal is to indoctrinate kids with a liberal mindset.
Yeah.
I know that.
but my
Because we've talked about that.
and way down on the list is to help them become a happy person
Right.
and graduate.
And contributing member of society. Well, I just think that's it's been an interesting emerging situation that's become, like you said, a boogeyman. It's not a real issue. It's not a real issue.
And is there anything that can be changed looking back at this intersection happened when a law was changed with Reagan, as I said at the beginning of this podcast? Is it time to look at some type of getting our arms around a news source that is on
Right.
both sides?
Right. Yeah, it's
Give
not
us
just
the facts, ma'am.
Right. But
It's not there anymore.
but
We'll
then
never
the
be able
question
to
is,
go back to
who gets to
that.
decide what those
Yeah,
are?
we'll never be able to go back to that.
Right. Well, I just every day if you get a chance, I know you listen to a lot of podcasts and all that stuff, but every day there's a new news story about some crazy school board meeting that goes off the rails because
I listened
these
to-
parents are coming in. I just read something the other day where a guy wanted to walk in with a gun because he wanted to talk about critical race theory, and of course, most school board meetings have a cop
But what
there.
do they think it is? What do they honestly think it is?
Well, it varies from person to person. Now, what it really
Making people
is,
feel bad about being white?
yes, and that's yes, but there is a more sinister potential outcome that I think some people have in mind. Maybe not everybody.
Like
Probably
what?
not everybody.
What
Well,
is it?
Here's what's going to happen, and we might even have school board members that listen to this podcast, and so we have a couple good friends that are school board members. What's going to start happening is in a few months when school starts, people are going to start showing up to school board meetings, and they're going to be upset because a teacher introduced a piece of literature from a famous black author. And they're going to say that's teaching critical race theory. So it's not just this critical race, this big bad wolf critical race theory. It's going to give parents ammunition to complain anytime a Toni Morrison or a James Baldwin, a good black author is brought into a classroom. Mark my words, there's going to be complaints.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not a Southeast Polk school board, but you're going to read about that. Well, there's a law in our state that says you can't teach critical race theory, and my son's English teacher having them read this such and such book by so and so, and that's what it's going to do. It's going to pull these great opportunities to educate our kids using a variety of different methods. It's going to put them in question, and then as a teacher, now I know you're not going to give a shit, which is great. But there's going to be some teachers that are going to second guess themselves. They're going to be like, could this be interpreted as, and kids are going to miss out on learning some valuable stuff because now there's a law in Texas and I don't know how many, 20-some states now that says that teachers can't teach critical race theory, even though nobody really can even explain. Most people can't. There's an actual theory. That's been around since the 1970s, but most people don't know what it is. And only in the last 6 months has it even been a topic.
I know what it is.
You know what it is. I know you do. I'm surprised. I didn't think you knew that it would be in the news. And again, it's not a knock on you, but I wish I was more like you, man. I'm trying because, I'm not. Okay. I've really tried to separate myself from a lot of social media lately. My favorite message board I haven't posted on in a year. Next month it'll be a year. Try not to. I'm not engaging in political arguments on social media. I'm really trying, and it helps. It makes I don't feel I feel shitty when I'm doing that stuff, so I don't want to do it. But you have. Well, I'm not saying you're not aware of things that are going on, but I wasn't sure if you were aware of this.
Well, I did. Speaking of Facebook, I mean, I just kind of don't get on it anymore, and it's not because I don't love every single person on there that I'm friends with. I have nothing but I'm trying, but for me, it just it was not. It really what I put into it. It wasn't really filling my cup.
It wasn't. It doesn't.
I mean, I've had a good summer and feeling pretty good. So,
and that's the way.
There's certain things in our society that I think are doing a great harm, me personally, that there's so many of us implicit in it that there's this herd amnesia that comes over. And climate change is one of them.
Right.
It's getting pretty bad, I think, and we're all every time I drive my truck, I mean,
you're rolling coal, Danny. You're rolling coal.
Are we the frog sitting in the pot, heating it up slow to a boil? I don't know.
Yeah.
But social media, I think, is really putting a delay on some things with our kids.
Yeah.
Things that we would have been there with, socially.
Yep.
And
I agree.
Emotionally.
I don't know where it's heading, man. I don't know where it's going because, we have the First Amendment and all that shit and
and my kids are on it all the time. So
I'm on it.
Fuck.
I'm trying to extricate myself from it more and more. And the more I do, the better I feel. I know Marta is not on Facebook nearly as much, and not like she ever engaged in any political shit anyway. But just and you're not, and so.
But for some people, if it's their jujitsu, if it works and it fills their cup,
but
go
it's not.
For it. I'm not.
It's not. I don't know how it could fill anyone's cup.
Let's be honest about everything.
I don't know how it can.
Call it out. Let's be honest.
So anyway, so school starts in a month, buddy. Do you know what day you report?
Nope. No idea.
Dan,
I'm going to the school tomorrow.
What for?
I got a few things to do.
Okay.
Turn in some paperwork for a class I took.
You don't really stop working in that regard. I know I've seen you in action even in the summer where you're typing up like some lesson or you're adding a link here or there, just things you're going to do with the kids. But the actual when to show up to work type thing for that first of the year.
I'll be there.
I know.
I'll be there.
I know. That's another difference.
If I start thinking about it and I'm like, okay, then now I have this much time.
Right.
Let's just.
I know. That's what I was just gonna say. That's another difference between you and I
right now.
Because it's about this time of year when you get that letter from from the superintendent saying, "Hey, hope you're having a great summer. Here's the day you report, and here's our meeting
Don't
schedule."
open that. There's
I know
nothing
you
needs to
don't.
be open.
That is not something you want to open, Dan.
Contracts have been signed.
Yep. But that's the
that
thing
over
that I
there.
would open, and then I would read that and go, "Oh, we have to be back on August 18th. And what's today? July 18th. So I have 1 month." And then tomorrow I'd go, "Oh, now we have less than that." And and it's the same thing you just said. You'd rather it's better
Same
if you don't
reason
know.
why I didn't want to put the magnet on my meteorite for the students. I told that whole story, didn't
Yes,
I?
right.
Showed the picture and all that.
Right.
I
Right.
told him if I had my way, I would wait and do this magnet when I retire.
Right.
Then there's
Right.
a chance.
Right. Right.
But anyway,
Well, okay, so school's starting soon.
yeah, I feel like we need to wrap it up.
Yeah, we probably should. So, I do have one more thing on my list.
Spent way too much time on critical race theory.
Yeah. Oh,
Let's talk about some. All right.
one more note. If you
Go fuck yourself. Oh, Mitchell.
I know, so
inappropriate.
inappropriate.
Love you, bro.
Love you, buddy.